let's go through some basics and go over some principles that some of you have probably already heard many times before. For some of you guys that are still at the beginner stages in your training though, some of these ideas might be new for you, and they're really important ideas actually. It's some stuff I was going over in the beginner's class before this class, and I really thought there's some powerful stuff that we touched on in this class, and I want to make sure, because I don't repeat myself as often in the adult classes, but repetition is the mother of skill. So let's go back through some of these basic ideas just one more time. Okay, so everybody get into a horse stance. We're going to start with front punch to the solar plexus. Okay, and as you're punching, you can start engaging your waist. You guys should have done, if you are still at white belt level, you might want to work on proper movement, proper mechanics of just the arm alone. But once you feel comfortable with that, and most of you have been doing this, your martial arts basic punches for months or years now, you should be engaging the waist. There should be rotation involved to create a little bit more body momentum within your movement. Okay, so right hand, we'll do a few punches, and then we're going to talk about it a little bit. Right hand, punch, 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 punch. That's good. Okay. A lot of you guys are actually doing this fairly nicely. Bring your hands in for a second. But a few of you, I'm seeing a little hiccup in between drawing one hand in and punching out with the other hand. Now, a lot of people, when they think of punching, they think of just the hand that's doing the punch. We already established you want to bring rotation into your punch. That's going to help generate more power. But the other hand, the hand that you're drawing in, also serves to maximize power within the punch in subtle ways, actually, as you get more advanced. Right now, this is a big movement. And some people think that because in a fight, you're never going to really draw back all the way. You know, when we get into a fighting stance, when we spar, we keep our hands on guard, don't we? We're not really drawing to a chambered position because that's not a good defensive posture to assume. So it doesn't necessarily appear that training this has a practical purpose. It does. When you get more advanced, there's very subtle ways that you're going to use this to help maximize power within your techniques. But like many of the movements, and you'll see this when we get into blocking in a couple minutes, like many of the movements that you learn early on, we start with big movements, a big motion, and then we shrink the movement as we get more skillful. Okay, so let's bring our left hand out. I just want to train this movement because it is a very powerful mechanism of maximizing power within your punch. So from here, pull that hand back as hard as you can. Ready? And you don't need a ki, just draw it in with power. Move, and bring it back out. See, you guys, most of you were drawing in and punching out simultaneously. But most of you, I could see, aren't necessarily bringing maximum effort to that action. We tend to bring our mental focus into the hand that's striking. Now what I'm telling you to do is start bringing a little bit greater awareness into this arm so that you maximize power in the striking arm. It's a yin and yang balance. So a couple more repetitions just to train that, because you're not usually consciously aware of that arm. Move, bring it back out, move, bring it back out, move, bring it back out. It should just follow the reverse path. We punch out, and now we draw it straight back from whence it came. Again, move, we'll do two more. Bring it out, last one. Move, bring it out. Now I want the full punch. Ready? Punch, punch, punch. Again, eliminate that hiccup. That's the first step. That's the first mistake many people make. And what do I mean by that? Here's what a lot of people do. Doing two things, doing multiple things at the same time is very difficult. So we start with one movement. We learn how to punch. Okay? We learn how to draw the hand back, but trying to do things simultaneous until you've really ingrained that movement, we mess it up. We start to do things a little bit off. Okay? That's what I call the little hiccup that people have. It's 1, 2. No, it should be simultaneous. So that's the first step. Make the movement simultaneous. The second step is starting to really train maximum power with that hand that's retracting. Okay? A few more punches, then we're going to move on to our blocks. Punch! 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 This is what I'm talking about in subtle ways. You guys have been introduced, many of you, to shaking power, correct? There's something called a short punch in White Crane, where you start here and then you shake, and this movement, just this drawing back and punching out, I realized after learning that and practicing it, that even just drawing this hand in this much helps bring greater energy into the striking hand. So what you're learning now on a large scale is going to be become just as important on a small scale later on. And the reason I say small scale is because a lot of White Crane power training is designed to be short range. So you'll learn movements and power mechanisms that are done at a very small scale, short range movement, but it can still generate incredible power. Now, when I learned that movement, one of the first things I did was I said, okay, what does this feel like if I eliminate the hand that's drawing back? And I could feel an immediate reduction in power. And this, like I said, this hand was only moving this much. It's not moving a great deal. So work the large scale movements now, because they're going to pay off when we start to shrink the movements down later on. And that's what happens as you get more skillful. You can take something that was really big, and then as you reach an advanced level, you can make that a much smaller movement and get almost as much power out of that smaller movement. Okay, but the payoff is in learning the larger movement earlier on in your training. That's where you have to start.